Hello and welcome to Blockchain Gaming World with me, John Jordan. So in this video, I'm going to have just a sort of a slightly scattergun approach, but looking at the ACS token, which is the internal token for Castle Crush. This Web 2 game that's come to Web 3 has NFTs in it. You can now earn the ACS token by playing the game if you have some NFTs. So at the moment, they're in a sort of weird situation where the token is live. So it is live on the Avalanche blockchain. People are earning it every day. So my current level, I'm earning like 20 ACS tokens a day. I can push them out to my MetaMask wallet on Avalanche, but there's no, as far as I can see anyway, there's no sort of pricing on it. So it's not on CoinGecko. It's not listed on any exchanges. There's not even any sort of any decentralized AMMs that are listing it at the moment. There's no liquidity for it. So we have this weird situation where people are earning this token, but no one knows what it's worth, which actually makes it very difficult to sort of work out whether you should be sort of, or not whether you should be spending more money to buy better NFTs, but is there any point in is there an ROI there at all? Which not everything should be about investment, of course, but it's an interesting thing to think about. And if you can't value something properly, if you can't value the output of something, then it makes it hard to sort of value the actual input, whether it's just speculation or not. So I've been thinking about this. It's actually it's not rocket science. But let's just go through this. So I'm starting with the white paper. This sort of explains a whole bunch of stuff. It's all about the game, and it's a PvP card-based game, and you have to destroy the other guy's castle, or person's castle, I should say. So these are all the cards. So at the moment, we're in this sort of very early, really weird early stage where only 14 of the 68 cards, 68 different cards in Castle Crush, only about 12 or 14 of them, I can't remember, are actually NFTs. So they have this whole sort of thing. This is very early stages. There's a whole 16-month process where they're going to release more packs, release more chests until every card in the actual Web 2 game is now an NFT. So we're not at that stage at the moment. But we do get some sort of pointers into what's going on, at least how to value something. So just go through all this until we get to here. So these are the Ascension crystals, the ACS token. So a fungible token, effectively like an ERC20 on Ethereum, but this is on the Avalanche blockchain. So the first sort of pointer here is there are going to be 1 billion of these tokens over the next 5 years. So 1 billion tokens, that's the total supply. So immediately we can say, if we think, as some people might do, that these are going to be worth $1, then that means the whole project is going to be worth $1 billion. So some games are worth $1 billion. So Axie Infinity still over $1 billion, despite the AXS token sort of decreasing 90% in value. That's still the market cap. So this is not impossible, but I guess we have to say that's a slightly speculative take on that. So we could say maybe these are going to be worth, we could think in our head maybe they're going to be worth like 10 cents. So that would take us down to the whole system is going to be worth $100 million. Clearly, plenty of blockchain games have that as a market cap at the moment. Or we could be, good to be a pessimist sometimes. We could say these are worth 1 cent, in which case this whole thing would be worth $10 million. So that's sort of like the ballpark I'm thinking at. Obviously, that's orders of magnitude, but it sort of gets our mind thinking about the right thing. Clearly, these are not going to be worth more than $1. They're not going to be worth $1 really. We should be thinking about that. So maybe 10 cents is sort of like the sweet spot at the moment. Probably still a little bit high, I would think. It's also worth looking at this. So 80% of these tokens over time are going to be player rewards. This is what we're getting every day. So 415,000 of these tokens are now currently being given out to people who are playing the game who own these NFTs. So again, if you go back to $1, is this game giving out $415,000 a day? Probably not. If it's thinking about 10 cents, I'm thinking about $41,500 a day. Could be that, but probably still a little bit high, but probably more than $4,150 a day. So using these figures and cycling through sort of just gives you in your head a sort of a feel, a gut understanding of what's going on here. Just to point out, the team gets a very small percent because this is from Wildlife, which is a sort of well-known Web 2 studio. It's raised a lot of VC money, so it's not doing this to particularly make money. It's not doing it to lose money, but it's not doing this to make a ton of money. This is an experiment. If this works out well, it will also be rolling out this to their other games and presumably doing other Web3 from the ground up games. So, okay, something else we see here. So we have a whole bunch of cards. There's different rarities, of course, as we expect in a free-to-play mobile game. This is the chests. Okay. So another thing to think about is currently these cards. One of the points of having the ACS token is it will be burnt. People will spend it to buy new cards. We'll come on to that, and also you'll spend it to upgrade your cards. So we can see here a common card would take 400 ACS tokens to upgrade to Ascended 1, and then 800 to Ascended 2, and we can see here. So if you took a common card and you wanted to ascend it to the maximum value, it would be 6,400 ACS tokens. So again, are people going to be spending $6,400 ascending a single NFT? Unlikely, given that NFT currently costs about $50. So that seems unlikely to me. Would they be paying $640 again on what's currently a $50 card? Probably unlikely, but probably whatever the other ratio would be. $64 on a $46 card. That may be a little bit low if you think you're ascending these things into the maximum level. So anyway. And obviously, these ones go for a founder card. The most rare card in. People aren't going to be spending over $100,000 doing that. They may, but $100 would seem not enough. So somewhere between, that'd be $1,000, I suppose. $1,000 and $100. Okay, ascension points. So this is the earning mechanics. At the moment, one common card earns you 1 AP a day. The AP. 1 AP earns you 2.5 ACS tokens. That's just the system at the moment. We can see here as we ascend these cards, as we spend the ACS token, leveling them up. That if we level up, if we spend the whatever it was, 6,400 ACS tokens for a common card, we've basically increased its power to earn 16 times. So that's what we're sort of thinking about. How much would we be prepared to spend to increase our card's performance 16 times? And 16 times makes it more than the starting point of all these other ones. So again, just to sort of try to get head around the numbers, there's a whole bunch of multipliers. So I'm not going to go into detail on this, but people can look at it if you want to. It's all in the white paper. So as you accumulate these APs, these ascension points, as a prize pool, as I just said, 415,000 of these tokens are given out every day. Worth also noting at the moment, so there's not many NFTs available at the moment, very small amount. Over time, over the next 16 months, they expect there to be a maximum of 320,000 NFTs in circulation. So at the moment, nothing like that. A few hundred, I would think. So there's going to be, so this is going to be a big deflationary sort of economy as more of these cards come in. You won't be earning this 2.5 ACS tokens is going to deflate. So we can see here, you can read all the sort of small stuff. So you can see here that they sort of work out over the period of time. They expect a return of like 9% per month. So that's what they think by month 16. That's what their goal is, and that's not that's a sort of a planned prediction. It depends sort of what the price of these tokens are and the price of the NFTs, obviously. But that's sort of the basic maths they have at the moment, which is still quite high. So it's 9% per month. That's not 9% per year. But the whole thing to point out here is what's going on at the moment is very early stages. If you see like month 1, month 2, the tokens per card are over almost 300, over 200, almost 200, and go down over 16 months to 39. So it's a big deflationary thing going on here, where basically earning value at the start is not going to you can't just project that out linearly. Because a whole bunch of these, a load of NFTs are going to be produced. Don't need that. Okay. So this plays into how these cards are going to be produced. So there's going to be 2,000 founders chests. These are the founders. These will have the founder NFTs in there, randomly dropped. So one NFT per chest. So these are, as we saw, sort of the most valuable cards, and these are going to be minted for 40,000 ACS tokens. So again, are people going to be paying $40,000 for this? That would be, as a mint cost, would be the most expensive NFTs ever minted. So that's definitely not going to be the case. You can see here, $1 is not what we'd expect here. If we expect a $10 cents, we'd expect $4,000 per founder chest. Again, that seems a little bit high, but possible. And if it was 1 cent, it would be $400, which is obviously much too small, I would say. So the original ones went for 35 Avalanche tokens. So $500, something like that. But these are founders chests, so they go for more, I would think. And we also have some other chests. So the ascended chests, the sort of the bog standard chests, are going for 4,000 ACS tokens. So not $4,000, $400, no, probably somewhere between $40 and $400. I don't know, a couple of $100, $200 maybe. So that's giving us an idea about what the developer, what Wildlife is thinking about the pricing as it lays these things out. Obviously, these are tokens that are potentially live, and you know, the price goes up and down, as we all know. So anyway, going for this treasury. So yeah, every 12 months, 10% of the funds are going to be automatically distributed to founders cards holders. So this is why founders cards are so valuable. And a whole bunch of other stuff. We don't need to look at this. So one thing to just point out, this is currently a mobile game through app stores. Going to be a PC version, but not till next year now. Obviously, PC version gives you a wider audience, and it's easier to do the blockchain stuff on a PC version rather than a mobile version that goes through the app stores and all that sort of friction that brings in. So, okay, let's just have a look at that sort of information put in another way. Okay, so here's my spreadsheet where I look at what's going on with Castle Crush at the moment. So basically, these are the NFTs that are around. Actually, we can just have a quick look and see how many owners of NFTs. No, this is how many. Yeah, I think that's how many wallets have them. So basically, this is how many owners there are. So a couple of thousand wallets have these NFTs. So pretty small scale at the moment. Prices. So so actually, this is the mint price in the AVAX token. So some of these are actually under the water in terms of just the AVX price. So dollar price, this starting is about $50 up to $750 at the moment for the rarest ones. This is the points that they generate. I'm not 100% about some of these, so I put them in italics because I'm not sure if some of these are founders. So I'm not quite sure if some of the founders will earn more at the moment. But yeah, the ones in grey, the ones I own, so I know what's going on there. So we can sort of see how much ACS they earn a day. So you know, we can do some basic math. So if an ACS token was worth $1, then basically, you know, how much linearly put, how much would you be generating from one card a year? So if one ACS token was worth $1, and I know that the Archer earns $2.5 a day, 2.5 ACS tokens a day, then you just do the maths and you get up, you know, an enormous figure. So as I've pointed out several times, one ACS token is not worth $1. So if it was the case, I'd be earning almost $900 a year from something that is worth $45, and the ROI on that would be insane. So these are the 4 cards I currently own, and so if it was worth $1, I would be earning almost $9,000 from something that would cost me $400. So my return on investment would be you know, insane, over 2,000%. Clearly, that's not the case. We know over a period of any time now that these are going to be earning less as more NFTs come onto the market. So this is not the case. And there's a whole bunch of assumptions about the linear. You know, I'm assuming what I earn today is what I earn tomorrow. So we know these are already overestimates. So if we're taking 10 cents, then I would be, for the 4 that I have, I would be earning almost $900 for something that I bought for, or that I could buy now for $400, so to speak. So the ROI on that would be 200%. So that's seeming a bit more reasonable. But we know this is still an overestimate. And if we were going for 1 cent, I would be earning $90, which is still 22% over a year, which you can't get in a bank at the moment. But we know that's an overestimate as well. Depends a little bit on when these other NFTs are released, so we can't really judge it. So one other way of looking at it, of trying to get an estimate, because I've basically said I think we're somewhere between these two at the moment. Remember we said that the sort of founders, the new founders chest, 2,000 founders chests are coming out of 40,000 ACS tokens, and we know that when these original NFTs were minted, there were 2 chests. There was a cheapo chest, not that cheap actually, 3.5 Avalanche tokens, and then one at 35 Avalanche tokens. So if we basically do the maths, we can either say that from the developer's point of view, 35 Avalanche tokens, they're thinking in their head is the equivalent of 40,000 ACS tokens, or it's the same maths. 3.5 Avalanche tokens is the same as 4,000 ACS tokens, which is going to be the price of the cheaper ones. So if we do the maths on there, say 40,000 is 35, we actually end up with a sort of a nominal price of 0.015. So basically, we're saying at the moment, my best sort of guess figure for where the developer is thinking is each AVS token is worth 1.5 cents. Now, obviously, from that point of view, they're going to lowball it because they want an economy that's going to be sort of increasing, rising, has a lot of headroom. So that's sort of like a, a starting point, and it's not to say, not investment advice. Clearly, it's not to say these things, as we've seen, can't 10x, 100x, 1000x. I would say for this game, it's a bit of a hybrid game. It's not a ground up game like Axie Infinity, which is built on the blockchain. This is a Web 2 game coming to Web 3, so I don't think we would expect. I think 10x would be sort of extremely good. Obviously, I would say that, wouldn't I? Because I'd be earning, whatever, I'd be earning over 200% just on this is interest sort of thing, but this is passive income because I'm playing the game. I still have the asset, and if the ACS token was worth 10 cents, then obviously the underlying assets would increase drastically in price as well. So that's what's going on there. Thought experiment. There's no rocket science in here. I'm just reading the white paper and sort of doing some very, very basic math. But I think it is interesting to put your head around this sort of stuff. Obviously, as soon as the ACS token does go live on marketplaces, we'll know exactly how much it is worth, and I will see how right I am. But my gut feeling is somewhere around sort of 1 to maybe a maximum of sort of 5 cents is sort of where we're looking at the moment. And it's just sort of good to get your head around that, because then you can sort of do things. Think about, if I'm earning so much, if I'm earning so many of these tokens from an asset, and the price of that asset is this now, does it make sense? Or is it totally insane for me to spend $750 buying a dragon that's going to earn me 8 points a day and blah, 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 blah. What's the math on that? So it's sort of good to do. It's a thought experiment. I'm not actually going to buy a dragon. I'm sort of happy with my NFTs at the moment. I'm doing this to sort of experiment and think about the blockchain game space, which is what I do, sort of an analyst. So definitely not investment advice. Please don't spend thousands of dollars buying these sort of things and say, John said I'd make loads of money. I'm not saying that at all. But I think it's good in general to look at some projects in detail, get your head around how they're working. That obviously, that just gives you gut feeling around other projects as well. And when you see sort of some crazy numbers, you sort of get an idea that probably not the case. So anyway, thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to the channel. See you again soon.